Good evening, everyone. Welcome to SimRace South Africa, a slightly new look SimRace South Africa for the 2020.2 season. And we've got an entirely new series to look forward to, the TCR Championship. So we've been talking about it all week, very much looking forward to it. And we find ourselves in the southeast of England in Kent at Brands Hatch Indy. I'm Daniel Haynes and I'm joined this evening by Sas van der Westhuizen. Welcome, Sas.
Thank you very much. Hi, everybody. Looking forward to some good racing tonight.
Yeah, I think this is going to be very, very interesting. These guys have been hot lapping Brands Hatch Indy for the last 4 days. And the times, well, the times are pretty ridiculous, really. Let's have a look at the times. HLQ times.
I think you said that the entire Division 1 was split by 0.4 of a second.
Yeah.
Something crazy.
So the servers opened up on Thursday, they finished last night, and after everyone's finished lapping, the Division 1 times are split by 0.44 of a second from first to 20 seconds. Totally ridiculous. Never had that before. So it shows you how close it is. Obviously such a short track. Yeah, it would explain the times being so quick. But it's going to be close racing, guys. Really, really close.
Yeah, all week we've been saying, like, rubbing is racing, and like I'm watching Brent Lindsay-Ray going into somebody just now on turn 1. So it's definitely going to be interesting to see how these oaks pull it off. Just staying shoulder to shoulder and not going completely mad and bashing into each other.
Yeah, I think we may have a little bit of bashing, but we shall see. Let's bring up our overlay intro as well. Introduce our sponsors for this evening. Yellow Design Company, Cool Ideas, and obviously our chosen charity for the season, Warmer Angel Projects, which money raised so far, I think, is around 25,000 rand. So very, very impressive that will be going to the Warmer Angel Projects and all the good causes and good deeds they do with that cash. So well done to everyone for that. Just a reminder, we're very, very proud of that.
That said, we can still increase that number. So if you're interested interested to join, go to simrace.sa.co.za and go and sign up. You can also help contribute to this very good cause.
Yeah, not too late. You can even be on Wednesday's race in Division 3 for a go in these TCRs if you want to.
Yeah, I actually found myself joining last season like that. I signed up the Wednesday morning and I find out that afternoon that I'm part of the race. And so if I wouldn't suggest that. I would say if you're keen, go and sign up right now, get it in. We're always interested in having more people here. There's some exciting racing, and then, as we said, this is for a good cause.
Okay, so while we've been chatting, we've had only 3 minutes of qualifying. These guys are lapping already, and already the top, what have we got? The top 13 places split by only 0.4. Jack Bother with a 47.5, and Nick Hodgson, who was the leader in our HLQ, is 1/100th of a second behind. So, yeah, how close do you want to be? Christo Bottas at 1/10 further back. I think they got more time in him, to be fair. We're expecting 47.3s, 47.4s at least for a pole. So I don't think Jack Bother's got it made yet, but we've got 10 minutes left of qualifying, so yeah, plenty of time to go.
Like they're already setting times that are so crazy close. It's going to be tough to keep lapping consistently like this.
Yeah, in race, that was my one bit of advice to drivers last week, was the temptation with HLQ is I must get a better time, got to get into Division 1. And you spend 4 days literally just doing 2 lap stints, hot lap, hot lap, hot lap, and you forget that there is actually a race. So yeah, you gotta whoever's spent some time on race prep will win this race, or do very, very well at least. And obviously we haven't explained to everyone yet that it's actually 2 races, 20 lap races, and the second race, something very, very interesting, is going to keep me and Sas busy trying to work out who's who and where for the second race, is a reverse grid of the top 10 drivers after the first race. So the top 10 finishes in race 1 will be reversed. So if you finish first, you'll be starting 10th in race 2. That's just going to keep it really interesting, isn't it? Because you could be the quickest driver, but then you suddenly find yourself in traffic in race 2. It might be all different, mightn't it? So something to look forward to and watch out for. We haven't done that
Ultimately,
before.
hopefully it will create those battles that we're looking forward to seeing tonight.
Yeah, I don't think we're going to be short of battles. That's for sure. No chance. I think I'm expecting some royal carnage in race 1. I'm already seeing everyone peel off into race 1, pushing a bit hard in Paddock's Hill Bend. Let's just remind ourselves of the track layout. I've got the track layout here. I'll bring it up on screen for us. So we're Brands Hatch. Everyone knows Brands Hatch. Might not know Brands Hatch Indy though. Pretty much a kidney bean sort of layout. Huge big section of the track missing. So we've only really got 5 real corners. Paddock Hill Bend remains the same. Druids we know and love, which is a big braking zone into turn 2. That stays the same as the full circuit. Graham Hill Bend, also the same. Very tricky. Get on the power as quickly as you can onto Graham Hill Bend. Try and carry as much speed. Surtees though, the difficult corner that we all know in Brands Hatch, probably the hardest corner on the circuit, is completely transformed because you're no longer going left up to the full end of the circuit. We're carrying straight on into a new section that goes round via Clearways and Clark Curve back onto the straight. So very, very short lap. Looks incredibly simple on that layout, but actually not so much, Sass, I don't find, do you? It's got some very tricky corners.
During my hot lapping, I've found like there are some really tricky corners, and especially if you went into it not realizing it's the Indy circuit, you get to that Surtees bend and it just throws you. Like if you're not careful, you go over the curbs and you unsettle your car, or you go too wide and you go off the road, and like it's there's some really tough hard pushing that you can do, but you need to be very aware of what's going on around you. And that's only during hot lapping. We don't know yet what's going to happen when everybody starts pushing up against one another, trying to get the best position into a corner.
Yeah, and Surtees, I mean, for me, every time I've done a race here at Brands Hatch, it's all about Surtees. It's such an important corner, and then all of a sudden, yeah, it's not there anymore. So I think the T1 is the most time won and lost on this layout. So easy to go wide. You see Nick Hodgson peeling off and aborting a lap there into the gravel. So easy to do that though, and I think it's got 8-degree slope on turn 1, and yeah, it's very difficult to get your braking zone completely perfect, especially in the race where we're bound to be going in there 2-3 abreast. See whether we can go around and see what times. We've still got Jacques Botha leading this qualifying session on a 47.525, and I have to say I'm quite surprised as I just see he goes better with a 47.4. There you go. I thought we'd have to be in the 0.4s. So Jacques Botha improves his lap time with a 47.423 and puts a little bit of daylight between him and Nick Hodgson, who's been very, very quick all weekend. I went on the practice server earlier and saw him immediately clocked another 47.3 as well. But he's capable of it. It's just, yeah, with 22 cars on the track, sometimes you're fighting a little bit to find yourself a slot. A nice clean run.
Yeah, that said, I'm not sure who is new, but I do know Ruan Greiling. He's one of the rookies this season, who managed to get into Division 1. He's not quite yet at his best. He's sitting on a 48.3.
He hit a 47.7 in HLQ.
So there's still some time for him to gain, but like under the pressure of trying to qualify with so many cars out on track, this is no easy task.
Yeah, that's the difference, isn't it? In HLQ 4 days, you can have an empty server and you can just get into a nice rhythm on your own, pump in 20-30 laps and you get one quick one, gets you into Division 1. But the pressure of 20 other cars around you and only 15 minutes to do it is entirely different, and we're seeing a much bigger spread. It has to be set. Still tight though, let's be honest, within a second for the entire field, but that's a bigger spread than we had in HLQ.
Definitely. I must say, I remember when I jumped on, I loved the fact that when I jumped on, if there were other people online, because it meant that I could then try and push, because I just do better knowing that I'm getting closer to somebody and putting pressure on them. but it also maybe helps if you do have people on the track and you can maybe try and dice one another to get some of that racing experience in. I do think some of the teams might have gone and done that, but we'll have to see tonight how much that had paid off for them.
Yeah, hopefully they've done a bit of race prep. I did a few laps myself last week, just testing things out, and also tried to do a race with the AI, but the AI doesn't seem in this mod to work particularly great, to be fair. So you can't, but really, I didn't find it, you couldn't get race prep with AI, so I'm hoping that the HLQ servers got a bit busy at some point in the weekend, and some of these guys have already had a bit of practice of following closely behind each other, because that'll pay dividends in the race for sure.
So quickly, before we get into the race, I'm just gonna quickly say hi to some people in YouTube chat. I see all the regulars like Ryan Hill, Dirkie Swanepoel, Black Widow Racing. There's also a lot of new faces there. Welcome to our stream tonight.
Yeah, there's some new drivers as well on stream. I've got Arno Visagi in 3rd position. That's a new name for me. He's dropped down to 4th now, but that's very, very good. I believe it's his debut. Has he been doing some GP races? Does it ring a bell to you, Saz?
Doesn't quite ring a bell to me, but he might be one of those dark horses that just flew under the radar and is now coming out to shine in the TC.
Yeah, I think it might be a fresh alien that's joined our midst and straight into Division 1, so we'll keep an eye out for him. I'm just going through. He's not improving on his time quite yet. See whether we can... we're getting into the last 3 minutes of qualifying. Christopher Langeveld, an old-timer in Sim Race South Africa, finds himself in 5th position currently. Not up on his delta, unfortunately, on this lap. He's 3/10 down. He's gone very, very wide. So that won't be counting. Let's see who else we've got.
You can go surprisingly wide out of that turn, though. I'm
really
pretty
sure it'll invalidate you once you get on the grass. You can go onto... It has like a concrete section with grass through it, which is fine. But once you get onto the grass, you should get an invalidated time, I think.
But you don't want to go that wide, because
definitely not.
It's really uneven. You bounce the car around. It just can't get up to speed quickly enough if you do go that wide.
Stephen Sparks, very old timer. I've raced with him many times, diced with him a lot in Sim Race South Africa over the season, so good to see him back in the TCR Championship. Currently finds himself in 9th place. Alan Patterson, who's got quite a blinding livery here. I don't think we're going to miss him on track with his, is that like a target? Red and white striped round circular target on his Hyundai i30. Keep an eye out for him.
Yes. I suppose if you put it on the helicopter camera, it's going to look a bit like a target.
Let's have a look. It is. Look, there you go. There's a helicopter cam. We have a target. I'm not sure I'd want to be driving around the circuit with a target on my back, quite literally. So we'll see how Alan Patterson does with that in 10th position.
Maybe he's using it as motivation, like
Possibly.
paint the target on his back to try and push himself harder.
Shiran Rajpaul, that's a new name for me as well. Sorry if I've got your name incorrect. But in 11th position, up on his delta at the moment. We're only going into Druids though, 1/10 up. Druids, very tricky corner, so slow. You've got to be so patient on the power. Feels like an age before you can get back on throttle.
And if you do, you're just gonna understeer out of that corner into the gravel.
Yeah, he's had a bit of a mess through Surtees, unfortunately, as you go through the clearway section. And he is not going to complete this lap up on Delta. James Leach finds himself in 12th position. Only 30 seconds to go in this qualifying session. I have to say I'm a little bit surprised. Jacques Botha, though, he's improved. 47.335. We missed that. So that's incredibly quick. In fact, that is quicker than the fastest time logged in HLQ. So Jacques Botha must be feeling very, very confident for pole position. He clearly is, because he's plonked himself in the pits. Nick Hodgson is frantically going around seeing what he can do about it. I think he has improved, but he still finds himself over a 10th further back.
It's looking like we also have Jason on the stream tonight. Welcome.
Look busy, everyone. The boss is watching. Welcome, Jason. Also, Henry Rue. I always like to give Henry a personal shout out because he lives just down the road from me, and he's been and had a go on my rig. So yeah, always nice. He always tunes in. Okay, so that's the end of qualifying. We got Jacques Botha in pole position, and followed closely by Nick Hodgson. So while the guys get themselves on the grid, we're going to take a very short break, and we'll be back. Okay, welcome back. We're just preparing for the start of this race. We've got a slightly longer cooldown allocated. There's a 4-minute cooldown before this race starts. It is going to be a standing start, so hold on to your hats. It's going to get interesting. We've got 2 minutes 50 to go. The reason we've got a slightly longer cooldown is purely to give the drivers a little bit of a break between race 1 and race 2. You have 16 minutes of absolute frantic action, and before you just pile straight into race 2. Just get a little bit of an extra break, collect your thoughts, think what went wrong, what went right, and try and improve in race 2. So these guys now are stewing a little bit. They're sat on the grid, waiting for the lights to even come on. They've still got 2 minutes 30, but gives them plenty of time to get their race setups prepared, make sure there's correct fuel in the car. And we've got 20 flying laps of the Brands Hatch Indy circuit.
Yeah, initially there was talks of having a mandatory pit stop, but I think Alan and co decided against it to keep this series as simple as possible. This is our beginner-friendly series, so just get everybody ready. So it's because pit stops can become quite involved. In AC, it's not quite as involved as in ACC, but when you're under pressure and trying to get a quick pit stop in, it can almost ruin your race if you don't get it quite right. So the decision was made. We're running 20 laps straight. That said, if people do pick up damage or feel they need to pit, they're still free to go and do so.
Yeah, there's no need for a pit stop. 20 laps. We're talking 16 minutes here. It's just purely a sprint race followed by another sprint race, just to keep your heart racing. We'd like to see some heart rate monitors on the drivers. I should imagine they'll be building a little bit now. Jacques Botha, he had a very, very good pole position. 1/10 is a lot in these cars. Remember, HLQ, 4/10 split, 22 drivers. So to get pole from a 10th, that's a little bit like Lewis Hamilton in Formula 1 at the moment. A bit night and day. So we'll see whether Nick Hodgson can battle. And also, importantly, Jacques Botha's got the inside line into turn 1. I think that will be an advantage. 45 seconds to go before lights start.
I must say, this long cooldown can either get you calm or it can get your blood pumping really, really hard.
I think it stressed me out. I really do. I think.
Yeah, I'll be anxiously awaiting the lights to come on and just hoping I don't accidentally tap my shifter so that I get a jump to pits penalty because of that.
Such a short lap, we've got to make sure we get our cars off the track ourselves. So we'll be doing that. Indeed. But we're going to watch the first 2 corners of this race. As the cars start to rev up, lap 1, lights are going up. Here we go, guys, TCR Championship. Lights out, and away we go. And it's Jacques Botha up. He got a good start. Nick Hodgson got an absolute flyer on the outside of turn 1. Going in side by side here. Jacques Botha still keeps it though. That inside line meaning so important. People are going through pretty cleanly, it has to be said. Jacques Botha's got the lead covered. Who have we got flying up in from 4th position? Christopher Langeveld.
Quite a dense pack though.
Christopher Langeveld's got up into 3rd place. Right, I've just got to quickly take my car off the grid and get back to the action. We don't want to miss anything. Oh, as I do, Christopher Langeveld's gone a bit wide, but look, Jacques Botha and Nick Hodgson are off into the sunset. Christo Bottas has got past Christopher Langeveld back into third place. Sim Racing crew guys really fighting it out here. Alan Patterson in 5th position.
Christopher Langeveld does look quite impatient behind Bottas.
Just double checking the leaders. Leaders getting through safely. Jacques Bothers he didn't have the best start, I have to say. Nick Hodgson, but just on the outside, just couldn't make a pass through turn 1. And they're off, those two. Rest of the field following a little bit further behind. 2 seconds back on lap 1 is quite a big substantial gap for TCR, it has to be said.
And I think there was a big crash on turn 1 just now with Hugo de Wit and Peter Geldenhuis. They spun out and somebody T-boned.
Oh yeah, we got Peter Geldenhuis is still in the gravel here.
Luckily, it's not that easy to get these cars beached on that gravel.
He's dropped quite far back though, hasn't he? So he's right at the back of the field now, Peter Geldenhuis, after that mistake. We got Christopher Langeveld managed to get himself back into 3rd position. Cleared Christo Bottas has got dropped back to 5th, so he made a mistake whilst we were looking at that first. It's hard to keep track of everything here, guys. We've got to keep close eye. There's lots happening throughout the field. Chiran got a good move. I think I think he was holding position. Yeah, we've got Jurgens van Vuren. Sean Webber behind, got the inside line on Kieran Patterson. And he's made that pass on Kieran Patterson's. Kieran Patterson's dropped back to 10th place. Oh, and we've had an accident there. We had a spin. Sean Webber has just made a bit of I think, did he get tapped? Maybe a little bit of a tap there.
It looked like he got tapped in the back by, I think, Kieran Patterson, and he spun out because of that.
I think we can just grab a replay of that. So we've just dropped a replay on stream. See whether we can just see where there's a tap. I'm watching it now. Let's go back to our leaders on the rest of the stream. Yeah, just a little bit of a love tap, I think, into turn 3 that just spun him round there. So, where are we at? Alan Patterson got himself up into 4th place. Bit of very frantic in the midfield as Jacques Bothra and Nick Hodgson are clearing off. We'll have to keep just an eye on those two. Kieran Patterson getting very sideways.
So Rowan Freiling is up to 10th.
Is it?
It looks like he's putting the moves on Duggan.
He's also got 3 going round clearways behind Kieran Patterson, Christo Bottas. Let's check out Raymond Duggan. Raymond Duggan's had a long weekend because he did the 6 hour at Daytona with me on Saturday evening. But he's having a great race here. He's up to 9th position. Well done, Ray. But he's got Ruan up the inside into turn 1. Ray's going to tow wide. Ooh. Ruan's taking a very evasive. He tried to cut a bit too much there. That's more than the apex, and Raymond keeps his position, 9th place.
Yeah, you should be careful cutting like that because you might end up getting some time penalty auto serve to you just because you go faster through that cut.
I'm not 100% sure we've got that. Everyone's going slightly wide into turn 3. Not sure we've got the penalty. We don't usually have time penalty served on Sim Race South Africa. That'll probably be offline on yourself, but possibly. I'm not 100% sure on server settings this evening. Alan Patterson's managed to get away in 4th and get a bit of a clean gap, so he'll be clean. He'll be proud of that because it's all coming together behind. Chiran's having an excellent race. Raj Paul in 6th position. One of our new timers, a very, very bright livery. We can certainly know who that driver is as we go on. Going back to the fight between Raymond Duggan and our new Raylan Grayling. And as I do, we got Raymond Duggan turn round. And runs in the wall. Good bit of timing there. Unfortunately, Raymond's the one that's lost out the most there. Just see whether we can grab that back on replay as well. Unfortunately, I think I might have missed that replay.
It does look like Bottas just went past Patterson for 4th.
Yeah, just missed that replay, unfortunately. Sorry, let me go back to Patterson. Oh, but so Patterson must have made a mistake because he's now getting pressured by who's behind him now. Or someone spinning round. It's not Sharon Raspol, is it? It's Jurgens.
Yeah, it's no, Sharon, it's Jurgen that spun.
Going 3 side by side into a corner that really barely takes 1.
But It's slow enough that it's possible to have these situations.
In these slow cars, yeah, rubbing as racing is definitely being applied in the early laps of this race. 8 laps in already, only 12 to go. Just remind us who's at the front. We've got Jacques Botha, first place. Very closely followed by Nick Hodgson, it has to be said. Jacques Botha is not driving away with this. The gap is less than a second. Back into third position, old timer Christopher Langeveld. I think consistency is king here. He's managed to pull away in third place. Christo Bottas back down in fourth position, got past Alan Patterson, finds himself in fifth. Sheeran in the Honda is in sixth position. Danny Miller, and it's Jurgens that's got the very bright green and yellow livery, which is what got me slightly confused earlier. I thought that was Sheeran's skin, but it isn't. Jurgens van Vuren is in 8th position with a very bright livery.
It does look like they're forming a really nice Congo line there, trying to spot one another.
Yeah. But it's almost like a Brazilian skin at the back. Stephen Sparks in 11th place. Cars are starting to spread out just a little bit. We had a frantic start, hard to keep track of what's going on at the start of this race for the first 8 laps. But guys are settling into their positions now. A little bit more normal in the racing. Ruan Grayling has dropped back to 15th place from coming together with Raymond Duggan, who finds himself in 17th. So who's the biggest loser there, really?
That's unfortunate. I do see Sean Webber right on the tail of Stephen Sparks.
Unusual to see Kieran Patterson so far back. He's in 19th position. Also Peter Geldernes as well. So maybe missed something between those two. Usually you see those slightly higher up the field. Leaders are sort of going around waiting for a mistake, but I should imagine after the amount of hot laps on this very, very short circuit, mistakes are going to be few and far between these two.
Yeah, they're likely just going to keep their heads down. Hodgson does look like he's losing some time on Bueta. He'll have to start pushing hard and try and gain some position on him. But I don't know. Is there maybe something in mind with when the grid swaps around? I'm not sure if that could form part of your strategy.
Oh, I wouldn't have thought so. I think you're gonna go for the win. You're not gonna think, oh, I don't want to be 10th position. So Christo Bottas in 4th place is just starting to stretch his legs from Alan Patterson. He's cemented his 5th position.
It is looking like some of these Oaks are doing sub 48 seconds.
Alan Patterson went wide there. He's gone very wide there. And Sheeran's managed to take the inside. They're 2 abreast now going into turn 3. Still staying 2 abreast as we go down the bottom straight into Kidney Bend. We're going to go through Surtees now and into Clearways. 2 abreast the entire way. This is a real battle here between Alan Patterson, who's come off worse here. No, he hasn't. Oh, he has. Oh, they're all over the place, these two side by side. Oh, and that was a good hit by Darren Miller straight in the wall. That's got to be damage. Alan Patterson. Oh, that's unfortunate. I think he ended up a little bit worse off there. Maybe we can just see whether we can grab that. Here we go. We can see it on the stream. That was a great fight between Alan Patterson and our new driver Sheeran, but yeah, he just got completely punted into the pit lane wall. So see whether Alan can recover a little bit. I should think he's going to drop quite back. Yeah, he's on 20th position.
Yeah, I think he got some damage there because he was
no
punted
way you
into
don't
the
get
wall
damage.
there.
He got sideways straight into the wall. But he's got it on stream twice with a replay. So let's see what else we've got. Stephen Sparks in 9th place is trying to track down Sean Webber.
I do see Alan in the pits now, so he's went in to go and try and repair it. I think he had quite a bit of damage.
Yeah. Has he actually left, I think, Alan Patterson? No, he's coming into the pits. He's now leaving the pits. 13 laps, only 7 laps to go. I don't think you want to be pitting. He won't benefit from the reverse grid either because it's only the top 10 drivers.
Yeah.
So let's recap. 13 laps, only 7 laps remaining. We have Jacques Botha in 1st place. We see he stretched a bit of a lead over Nick Hodgson in 2nd position. Christopher Langeveld He's catching Nick Hodgson. He just did a 47.9, very quick lap, but he's still 4.8 seconds back. Christo Bottas finds himself in 4th position, also on his own now that we had that battle between Alan Patterson and Raj Paul, who is in 5th position. Jurgens van Vuren in 6th place. Gaps are just starting to form now. Matthew Boy, I haven't seen Matthew Boy this whole race, find himself in 7th place in point blank racing. So yeah, I have to say, I think it's the first time we've gone on to Matthew Boy, but good to see him. He's worked his way up through the carnage of others. Stephen Sparks and Sean Webber are still battling it out. 8th and 9th positions.
They have been at it basically for the last 5 laps from what I could see.
Yeah, I think
it looked like Sean might get away on this straight.
Yeah, he looks like got the drag up the inside. Matthew Boy wants to maybe cover. He's not covering the inside line, but I'm not sure he's close enough, is Sean Webber. Sorry, Stephen Sparks. Stephen Sparks didn't cover the inside, but Sean Webber wasn't close enough into Druids. Making sure you don't go wide here, Stephen Sparks. No, he doesn't. As you were, these two. Very close battle on field. Looks like the closest gap we have so far. We'll stick with these guys just for a little bit longer. Sean Webber, another new driver, I believe. Same cars here. So they can't blame their equipment. Looks like Stephen Sparks got a much better drive, didn't he, out of clearways.
You mentioned the first corner being quite difficult. I feel that last corner can really mess you up if you end up spinning out or going wide. You lose so much time.
Yeah, carrying as much speed as you can into the exit of it is so vital, isn't it? I'll be patient on the throttle. Looks like Stephen Sparks has just managed to get a tiny bit of breathing space, as much as you can in TCR. Jurgens van Vuren finds himself completely on his own at the moment. Let's just check back into the midfield. Brent Lindsay-Ray, who we haven't seen this evening so far, is in 10th place, rounds out the top 10.
It is apparently also his birthday today.
Is it? Well
yes,
done.
I saw somebody in chat mention it.
Okay, good. So he'll try and get a top 10 for his birthday present.
That will put him in front for the next race.
It will, yes. That would be very interesting. Whoever finishes in 10th place is going to start from pole. Talk about a bit of stretch. Currently that's going Brent Lindsay-Ray's way. 3 laps to go, guys. Can't believe how quick this race has gone so far. I've hardly had time to take a breath here.
Yeah, with laps under 50 seconds, you don't really have to wait for the action. It's going to happen. You just take a breath and it's there.
I think we need to so we've got Jacques Botha coming up behind back markers. Just need to give him a little bit of stream time because he's been very well deserved. Bit of a masterclass here in race 1 from Jacques Botha. Pole to the lead, but remember he's going to find himself starting from 10th position, so race 2 is going to be unbelievable to watch. Because can the quickest driver work his way through the field? I'm not sure it's going to be so easy. Just checking Sean Webber, I think, is possibly our closest gap. Let's just, we can go on behind him, I think, from this camera, just to see the gap back to Brent Lindsay-Ray. Give us a little bit of an idea of what it's like to track down a TCR car on such a short circuit.
He did get a really good drive out of that last corner. It looked like he gained some position on Sparks.
Yeah, he lost it into turn 1 though, didn't he? And now we're going to the braking zone of Druids. He's quite defensive up on the inside. Brent Lindsay-Ray going wide. Good driving though by Sean Webber. He's managing to hold off a bit of an old timer in Brent Lindsay-Ray. Leader is on the final lap of this race. Jacques Botha, I can't see anything happening but a win here. for Jacques Botha in race 1 of round 1 of the TCR Championship Brands Hatch Indy. Half a lap to go.
Careful with that curse, though.
Pardon? Yeah, I'm not. There's no way a commentary curse can put it on Jacques Botha. He's a great driver. I know him well. I've done an enduro with him before, and yeah, brilliant win coming. Round 1, first race. He's pleased with that one. He crosses the line in first position. Nick Hodgson didn't put a foot wrong. He just wasn't quick enough. Second place. Christopher Langerfeldt now. A bit further back, coming round Clearways. Onto the top straight. He takes third place. Will be starting 7th. Christo Bottas crosses in 4th position. New driver Raj Paul 5th. Jurgens van Vuren in 6th position. Matthew Boy covers in 7th.
Steven Sparks in 8th.
Brenton Ninji Ray comes across sideways, but doesn't matter, 9th. James Leach 10th. He's going to be starting in pole. That's going to be interesting. Sean Webber finishes in 11th. Sure. I got to lean back, Sass. Don't know about you. I need a break, mate. 4 minutes cool down. I could do with 10 minutes.
That's why we have the 4 minutes. I can only imagine how the drivers are feeling. This must have been tough.
It was hard to just keep. It's just hard to keep track of what's going on, eh? So we've got 16 minutes of pure franticness, followed by 4 minutes of just take a breath, have a drink, relax. We got round 2 coming.
Check how much fuel you used, quickly update that to get into the next race.
I'm not sure people can make massive setup adjustments, but possibly you can. You got James Leach starting from pole. Brent Lindsay Ray will be in 2nd place. Stephen Sparks will be in 3rd position on the grid. Matthew Boy 4th. Van Vuren in 5th. Raj Paul in 6th. Bottas 7th. Langerveldt will be starting 8th. Nick Hodgson will be starting 9th. And our winner from round 1, Jacques Botha, will be starting 10th on the grid in round 2. That's going to be... It's almost going to be... That's going to be worth watching, isn't it? Can Jacques Botha make it, or will he get caught up like some of a few of the others? Obviously, those that had a bit of a nightmare, Alan Patterson was doing so well, ended up finishing in 20th place. He's got a chance to redeem himself in round 2. Raymond Duggan also got a bit taken out, so he's also got an opportunity to fix that mistake. See how they get on. I think in the meantime, we'll just take a little bit of a break. And a breath, because we've got 4 minutes, so we've got time, so we can sit back and relax. Enjoy our new intro video, guys. Okay, welcome back. Round 2. And yes, Wesley Ferrand, I have taken the opportunity to top up my whiskey because I didn't even get a chance to have a sip for the whole of round 1. So I've got 2 minutes, 20 seconds. And we're waiting patiently. Some people are a little bit more stressed out than others. I think James Leach is heart racing just a touch here because he is starting from pole position. And that's a little bit interesting, isn't it? A little bit, he might not have expected that. But we got James Leach in first. Sorry, Sass, carry on.
No. I was just going to say, he's in first now. So if you can drive nice and defensively and keep your lines clean, there might be an opportunity to carry that lead for a while, but it's going to be tough. It's going to be difficult. Nick Hodgson has shown that he's really quick. Jacques Botha is really quick. It's going to be quite intense.
It has to be said though, all of these guys are really quick on 1 lap pace because HLQ proved that to us. So does having a clean track ahead of you, is that enough? If James Leach gets a good start, very, very well that he could lead this and win this race like Jack Botha. It's all about being clean here. So I think these guys are all quick enough, but when you haven't got a fight with guys, it will just be interesting to see how we get on.
It will be. I actually spoke to, I think it was Ron Greirang, and he mentioned he did about 4,500 kilometers on Brands Hatch Indy alone.
That's ridiculous.
So that explains why, as a rookie, he's this quick.
I did 30 minutes, and to be honest, in VR, I started feeling a bit dizzy and sick because it's a short lap. It's 47, and it's quite elevated. I thought, oh no, I think that'll do for me. So yeah, to do that amount of kilometers is outrageous. But we'll see. We've got 40 seconds counting down. So just to remind ourselves, James Leach starting from pole in race 2. Brent Lindsay-Ray 2nd position. Stephen Sparks 3rd. Matthew Boy 4th place. Christo Bottas 5th. Jurgens van Vuren in 6th. Christopher Langenfeld finds himself back in 7th. Doesn't often start that far back, does Christopher Langenfeld? Jeroen Raspal did a great race. New driver in 8th place. Danny Miller 9th position. Nick Hodgson in 10th. Jacques Botha has gone back to 11th. Here we go. Lights are starting. Lights out. Off we go. James Leach gets a good start. Brent Lindsay-Ray also even better start up the outside. James Leach covering the inside though. They're tapping already. James Leach piles out of it. So you've got Brent Lindsay-Ray in the lead of this race. Someone's just gone off there. Stephen Sparks has gone off into the gravel trap on turn 1.
That's going to cost him quite a few
Loads and loads of cars going into abreast into Druids. Someone's just span at the back. Who have we got? Is it Jacques Botha? No. We've got Van Vuren who's gone off into the gravel. We just want to see what's going on in the back.
They're playing bumper cars in the back.
There was a lot in Druids, wasn't there? There was 2, 3, 4 abreast at places. It was pretty ridiculous. We've got Christopher Langenfeld's just... No, he's not. He's gone wide. Someone else. Matthew Boyd gone off there.
Jacques Botha is in 18th position at the moment. He's climbing quickly.
Yeah, he's dropped back, hasn't he? In 16th place he finds himself now. Oh, it's all a mess on turn 1. We've got Brent Lindsay-Ray on the main straight. Something massive is had on the main straight. It's a real mess up the main straight. Sean Webber spun round. We've got a Golf in the background. Also spun round. Sean Webber has stopped on the track. I'm not sure whether he's got major damage. He was spun round. We can have a look back on the replay function of what happened into turn 1 and into Druids. There was plenty of action, but we missed it on the... As they come across the start-finish line, there was plenty going on there. So what's happened? We got Sean Webber he was on the lead of this race on the timing screens, but he's not. It's because he's in the pits. He returned back to the pit lane. I think you'll find what's happened there is we've had a camera car, I think it's my car, left on the pit straight because it's now off the side. So I need to be taking blame for this one because I think on the start-finish straight there was a car in the way that wasn't removed because we had so much action going on in turn 2 and 3 that could have got a few people majorly unsettled.
Brent Lindsay-Ray is in the lead right now.
He is in the lead. But yeah, the reason why the race 2, it was a mess on the straight was there was one of our camera cars. It was my camera car still left on the circuit, unfortunately. So that's my fault, as we were stuck into the action in Druids. I didn't get it off the circuit into the pits.
I think I was also a bit late.
Oh, is it? It was just too short a lap, and we got so dragged into it that... yeah, that's caused a problem because we've had some standing cars on the grid, unfortunately. So I have to apologise to all the drivers for that. But where are we finding ourselves? We've got Brent Lindsay-Ray in 1st position. James Leach, who was starting on pole, is still in 2nd place. Behind him, Christopher Langenfeld, getting very, very sideways through clearways, is in 3rd position. Matthew Boy, 4th place. Hugo de Witt, 5th position. Raj Paul in 6th place. Jurgens van Vuren in 7th position. Grayling in 8th. Jack Botha's got himself all the way back up into 9th place after being right back down in, what, the 16th, 17th position?
He was at 20th at some stage.
Yeah, so I think we've unfortunately had a real effect on this second race, which is very unfortunate. We've got one car off in the parked on the grass out of Druids. Jack Botha's gone quite wide there.
Field is quite spread out at the moment.
Carl Swanepoel is just dropped it into clearways. And we've got Nick Hodgson is in the pit, so he was obviously tangled up into the first lap incident. Unfortunately, that really is a problem. Yeah, if we could restart this race, we probably should have done. So apologies for any drivers that were affected there. Clearly, it didn't help matters at all. We've still got a lot of fighting going on though at the front. James Boy, Hugo De Wit, and Shiran Rajpaul. Yeah, we got Nick Hodgson in the chat. Unfortunately, Nick, I can only apologise to you. It's such a short lap. I didn't get my car off the lap in time because we were busy looking at so much fighting going on. But that is entirely our fault. But we've got to keep track on what's going on. And we've got Brent Lindsay-Ray's pulled a bit of a gap from James Leach, 1.5 seconds from 1st to 2nd position. Matthew Boy finds himself 3 seconds further back, closely followed by Hugo De Wit. Jack Both has managed to get himself into 7th place, so he's climbed up quite impressively from where he found himself after lap 1 incident. Christo Bottas behind him in 8th, Peter Geldness in 9th place. Alan Patterson, he was doing so well in race 1, running 4th, is obviously started so far back because he started in 20th place. He's got himself up into 13th, trying to track down Ruan Grayling now, sideways as they go through Surtees. Bit of tapping as we go here. Grayling's gone off on the grass. Alan Patterson takes the position, but then goes wide through clearways and then gets tapped by... He's not going to go into the same wall again. No, he isn't. He manages to hold on to it. I thought Alan Patterson was going to find the pit lane entrance wall again for the 2nd race running. Got Kieran Patterson now for company. Gets a good tap into turn 1. Everyone sideways. Ruan Grayling is finding himself spinning, getting sideways through turn 1, Paddocks Hill Bend. Plenty of action through turn 1 and 2 there on that lap. Raymond Duggan's got himself a little bit of space in 11th position currently. Going back to our leaders, Rajpaul takes up the inside line of Jurgens van Vuren and is holding on to 5th place. Quite tight through Druids.
They are all four keeping it really close to one another.
Because Jurgens van Vuren's got quite a drive up the back of Rajpaul. Go through clear waters. If you can get a good exit here, then you get a long drag round into Paddocks Hill Bend in that very tricky T1. But it hasn't been the case.
Peter Geldenhuis seems to be right on the tail of Boetus. Yeah, and as I say that, he goes through turn 1 and loses it a bit.
I didn't quite catch him in time. Yeah, okay. Yeah, so he's still behind Bottas. Botha is still finding himself in 7th. It just shows that it's so hard to claw back time here, isn't it? It's very easy when you've got a clear track in front of you, but not so much when you've got to try and fight through traffic, because he's got quite a gap to make up. Catch up with the field in front of him. Brendan Ray, in the meantime, is enjoying a track to himself, it has to be said. And James Leach, our pole sitter, comfortably driving around in 2nd position on his own.
Yeah, so it must be said that they probably entered that pit straight and could see what was going on with other people in tow.
Yeah, they managed to get through the carnage, so yeah, it's definitely helped those guys out. But also possibly a little bit of qualifying is important in this TCR Championship, because if you can get clean air and you haven't got a fight, that's the only way you're going to clear a gap. But that's not the case when you've got a reverse grid, so it's not possible to start from pole 2 races running.
Van Vieren gives Rajpol a bit of a bump from behind. These Oaks are keeping it close to one another.
Here we have them as they go into turn 1. 13 laps in. Different lines through turn 1. You can get a cleaner exit. And that's exactly what's happened. Van Vieren has gone up the inside, and he's going to take the position going into Druids.
I see in the chat, penalty to Daniel. He has to do the egg challenge with double whiskey and sugar, please.
Oh, I'll gladly take a penalty. I'll gladly take a penalty, Xander. But I'll have the whiskey. But can I leave the double egg out of it and sugar, please? That's my. Oh, someone's just gone across the grass. Turn 1, completely different line
What
coming
is
into
making
Druids.
a pass on Rajpol. And he does it. He gets by cleanly.
Yeah, Jacques Botha's moved up into 8th position, so he is working his way through the field. He's going to run out of laps though. We're 14 laps in already with only 6 to go.
Yeah, he is, by my count, about 8 seconds behind the leader. So that's quite a lot of time to make up if you want to get to first.
Yeah, our front 2 guys managed to get through on turn 1, didn't they? And that's left a 5-second gap back to Matthew Paul, who is got Hugo de Witt for company here. This could get interesting up into T1. Paddocks Hill Bend, different lines. Hugo de Witt has gone the wider line. Matthew Boyd just covering himself and is going defensive now into Druids. Yes, he is.
Just go slow and then get on the throttle when it's clear.
I'm not liking the YouTube chat, I have to say, because they are slightly piling up on me. So whether I get another opportunity to entertain you guys, I might be substituted after such a fatal error. I was so good on race 1, I completely forgot about race 2. Yeah, Jason's going to slap my wrist, I apologise for that. So, where are we at? Let's remind ourselves. Brent Lindsay Ray leading this race quite easily from James Leach, who has quite a substantial lead back to Matthew Boyd, where it starts getting a little bit frantic with Hugo de Witt, Jurgens van Vuren, and Jacques Botha, who's looking up the inside. He's going to go up the inside of Druids. Jacques Botha moves up into 5th position with a great pass through Druids.
He'll be honing in on de Witt just now.
Yeah, whether he's got enough laps to claw that back. 4 laps to go. Jacques Botha's had a very impressive drive. Down in 16th position at one point. Finds himself up in 5th. So it has to be said that what is the quickest driver of the day has managed to avoid... Well, he didn't avoid the carnage. He got held up with it, which is why he got knocked back. But he's managed to recover unbelievably into 5th place. Further back, we got Peter Geldenhuis and Danny Miller. Peter Geldenhuis wanted me to give a shout out to Brent Alexander, who is the the maker of their very impressive sim racing crew liveries. They do say they look very, very nice on the grid. Plenty of liveries have been designed this week. Frantically working on livery designs, and we're very appreciative of it to make the grid look as good as it does. I very much like Raymond Duggan's livery. Don't you think that Golf looks good? Black and orange with the stripes.
No, it looks beautiful.
Yeah, brilliant livery.
I do see they put some accents on to try and distinguish the different teams. The mirrors are blue
In the sim racing crew, yeah.
Yes. It's not quite as distinct as Black Widow Racing, but it's there, and it might help us spot some people here and there.
Oh, just cut to Hugo de Witt, and he's hit Matthew Boy. And he's really lost out here. 9th place. He's waiting safely to rejoin. He's going to just keep waiting, though, until he's at the back of the field. He's going to come back into 10th place, 11th, 12th position.
That puts Jock in 3rd now.
Jack Both has managed to get himself into 3rd place. We got 2 laps remaining in round 2 of this TCR Championship. I don't think Jack Both is going to make any more moves, but to go get 1st position and 3rd with a reverse grid. Incredible drive here this evening from Jack Bothell. Very well done to him. See whether there's any more action behind us. Christo Bottas has gone very wide. Alex Hill-Ben might leave the door open for Peter Geldnes into Druids. Went defensive into Druids. Might be the same team, but it doesn't look like they're giving up places, does it?
Alan does seem to be on the back of Versace. There's, I think, 1 lap left, so if he can, now would be the time to make the move, if he can get close enough.
Yeah, he's gone a little bit wide into Druids. So we're just going to cut back to our leaders that have just started the final lap of round 2. I can't actually believe it's the final lap. We're going to have to get some longer circuits. I'm going to have a chat with Alan. This is ridiculous. 16-minute races. Doesn't give us any opportunity to do anything or see what's going on. So close. They've got Brent Lindsay Ray, who's about to complete the final lap of this race. It has to be said that James Leach has had a cracking second race, because he's started from pole. He's going to cement 2nd, and he's caught Brent Lindsay Ray up, because it's not going to be a very big gap as they cross the line. But Brent Lindsay Ray is going to win the 2nd sprint race of this TCR round 1 at Brands Hatch Indy. Well done to him. James Leach is chuffed as can be. He's flashing his lights. Jack Botha, what a drive. 3rd place. Jurgens van Vuren takes 4th position. Matthew Boy, Raj Paul got 5th. Matthew Boy 6th. Bottas goes 7th. Christopher Langeveld finishes in 8th. So quick, can't keep track of who's come past. Danny Miller 9th. And Raymond Duggan completes the top 10. And that is the 2nd sprint race of 2020.2 TCR Championship, Brands Hatch Indy, our first event in this series, and my word is it frantic. We will get better for round 2, guys. I can only apologise to anyone that was affected in the 2nd race on the 1st lap with a car left on the grid, but all those that avoided it, very well done to them, and some great driving. And I didn't have a chance to mention anything. We got round 2. We got round 2 coming up. If anyone wants to sign up, please do go to the website simracesa.co.za to sign up. You can join in Division 2 and Division 3 on Wednesday night for the TCR Championship. Otherwise, what have we got? We've got next week, we move on to the GP round 2, Okayama. What a track Okayama is. I love that track. So that's next Monday night. And then the following week, we have our flagship event, which is the SimGT ACC round 2 at Bathurst. 90-minute race. Me and Jason back in the commentary booth. We can relax a little bit. I'm looking forward to a 90-minute race, Sass, I have to say. It's much more chilled. I can't cope with these 16-minute sprints. These are ridiculous. But yeah, great racing.
It's quite frantic.
It really does. It really, really does. So yeah, we've got plenty to look forward to in the next couple of weeks. GP, followed by ACC. And before we know it, we'll be back here in TCR round 2 for another frantic evening, 45 minutes. But that does conclude Round 2. Thanks so much for joining us, Sass. Really enjoyed it. Good luck with Wednesday's race, and you're in round 2, I believe.
Thank you. I suspect I might be demoted to Division 3 now, so we'll see how Wednesday night's race goes.
Yeah, we'll hang our heads in shame in Discord, but for everybody else, we thank you for joining us on YouTube and the live stream, and we'll look forward to seeing you all. Thanks. Good night.